Morning, everybody. Saturday morning. Bit overcast. Sun comes out. Well, the sun was out when I was out with the boys this morning, but it's kind of a bit overcast. Lovely, sunny, warm day yesterday. Oh, it was beautiful. Did a lot of gardening, of course. I've got lots of mirrors in the garden, so I've cleaned all those down because there's nothing growing up behind them. One, I've got a bit of trellis on. Um, so plants grow up behind, in front of the mirror. Of course, I'm cleaning with the broom the mirror, and the trellis collapsed, so it's all broken down. So I had to dispose of that, get that all off the garden and dispose of it, and then I had to find another bit to put up there. So I went behind the shed. Well, I can't get behind the shed, it's only a narrow gap. So I moved everything out the way and got behind the shed, and I've got some of that plastic green garden edging. It's quite tall. That's all wound up round there. So I got that out, and I've managed to hook it up on the wall over some of the mirrors, so that anything that grows up will cling onto that. And then now I've decided I'd better put another bit lower down. I've got I don't think it's a blue tit. It's a little tiny bird, like a blue tit. It's got a little black head, a little coal tit perhaps, and it keeps coming along, and it sits in front of the mirror, and then it flies up and down, and then it goes back up to the mirror. You can see itself in there. Of course, now the trellis is down, it's got nothing to hang on, so it sort of came this morning, and it was sitting on one of the little bushes there, sort of looking, and I said, well, where's the trellis? So I better get this bit of trellis out and put it along lower for this little bird. Things you do for animals. So that's that. I've got lots and lots of tulips coming up. Well, not lots and lots, but loads of tulips. And it's quite odd. You find things in the garden that I know jolly well I've never planted those there. I think I put in a sort of a little clump of daffodils in one point, and now it's a huge clump, which is lovely. But I found snowdrops on the in the my allotment bed. Well, I've never planted snowdrops in there, so where they've arrived from. And there were three little bulbs there that were starting to sprout a few weeks ago, and I thought, oh, I wonder what these are. One of these are onions or something. So I sort of pulled them up because I thought, well, I don't know what they are, and I put them in a tub. They're coming up, and they're little hyacinth bulbs. Where they've come from, because I wouldn't have never planted them, and I love hyacinths, so I don't know where they've arrived from. I mean, it's not so the birds can bring, birds will bring a little bulb in. It's only a small bulb, it's not one of the big hyacinth bulbs, it's just one of the little bits off the edge. But the three of them, don't tell me, three birds have dropped them in there. So how they've got there, I don't know. So when they've flowered, because they're more or less coming up, and I could see the hyacinths. I thought they might be bluebells, the not the real bluebells, the continental bluebells, but no, they're not. They're hyacinths. So when they're finished, I shall put them into a special pot, one of my flower pots. It's just in a tub that I put my runner beans in. I just chuck them in there to see what happened, thinking there might be onions or something. No. So quite odd that things come up in places you think, well, how did that get there? So I had a little sort out behind the shed. I've got a panel there which I offered it to Chris, see whether he wanted it, but he said he doesn't want it, so it'll stay behind the shed until somebody decides they want it. Did manage to sell on Friday. I got a large piece of OSB board that the builders left when they did the roof, and they left it in the garage, a new piece, well, half a sheet, and I thought somebody would make quite good use of that, so I put it on Friday at about a month ago. Kept thinking it's funny nobody's come forward for that, so I had a look at the ad a couple of days ago, and I thought, well, it's not. It always says when it's online it's live, and it didn't say. It kept saying a draft, and I thought, well, I have finished it, so I went on to the ad and I sort of had a check and I edited it, and it still came up as draft. I thought, right, okay. So I deleted it, completely deleted it, and redid it, which is a pain because it takes about half an hour on Friday ad on my old iPad. So eventually, well, within an hour, I got a phone call. Guy wanted it. He was going to make a workbench, cut it in half, just what he wanted. He didn't want to buy a whole bit. So he came along, and he also bought the oil. I've got some oil from my other car, a couple of containers of oil, and he took that as well, which was lovely. And before he'd come, I'd found some other bits of wood in the shed. They're just sitting there. There's no point in me keeping them. So I said to him, do you want these couple of bits? Yeah, he said, I can make use of them. I thought, right, got rid of those. And a bit of a clear out. So that was good. Got rid of that yesterday. Chris and Rach came down last night. Got a takeaway curry. They were going to stay, but Chris said it was going to be really, really bitterly cold, and he didn't want to put his tent up. But in fact, it wasn't. It was quite mild, but it said that it was going to be freezing. So they didn't stay. So they came and had a curry, a takeaway curry, which was lovely. And they didn't bring the dogs though, because they were going to go home. And my doorbells haven't been working for ages, because Rach said to me last week or something, I've been ringing the bell, Mum. I thought, oh, yeah. I said, well, try it. No. I said, okay, right. So I got them both. One's at either end of both gates, one on the road and one in my back, the gate I use to come in. So I got them both down and got the batteries out. Of course, they're these tiny, tiny batteries. So Rachel got me a pack of batteries, and I put them in. Can't get them to work. So got the instructions out, and you have to reconfigure them to the master, which is plugged in the wall. I couldn't do it. So I said to Rach, could you have a look at the doorbells? So she sat there and we had a mess about, and in the end she said, I can't see. So Chris said, what's the problem? She said, well, I can't get these to configure. Right, okay. So he was about 3/4 an hour in the kitchen. I mean, they're all working. The batteries are working, so that's fine. We know it's not the batteries, but we just can't configure the two doorbells to the master. And it tells you to hold, push, 30 seconds, push, da, da, da. I mean, he kept saying, I just don't understand it, can't. So then he said, well, I'm going to go onto YouTube. And he was following that, and still we couldn't get it to work. So he said, oh, don't know. He said, I'm going to go home and perhaps have a look at home and see whether, he's look on another YouTube and see whether he can master it that way. So I said, well, it might be a case of a new doorbell then, because it's a nuisance. I need a doorbell. I don't want people just sort of wandering in, because they see a gate, and if the doorbell doesn't, nobody comes with the doorbell. They just wander in because the dogs are there. So I can't lock it, because that means that I don't know anybody's out there. It's like a bit of a nuisance, but there we go. We'll sort it out. A couple of nights ago, when I walk over the little green every evening with the dogs, I went over, and somebody, I suppose it's kids, had picked, there are clumps of daffodils over there, it's beautiful, just sort of one area, loads and loads of clumps of daffodils, and some kids had picked them and just thrown them down. So I ended up picking them up. A lot of them were very wilted, and I thought, let's get them in a big vase. And they've all picked up. They're not very long. They're only about that long. But there were loads and loads of heads. So I managed to get the poo bag out of my pocket and fill this bag with heads. And I've now got them floating in a dish. There's about 30 heads just floating in this dish. I mean, it's beautiful smell in the kitchen. And then the vase of the daffodils. Rach said, well, where did you get these from? I said, over the green. I said, kids have picked them and just thrown them down. Oh, it's wicked. I was so upset. So, of course, every night I go over there, I just pick up they get lots broken down where dogs have run through them. So I always pick them up every evening. I go along and pick up the ones that have been. So until the daffodils finish, I've always got a little vase of daffodils on the window ledge with the broken down ones. So it's either a vase or a little pot, or as I say, I've now got a bowl with hundreds of 30 heads in. Such a shame. So that's that. I didn't manage. I only picked up at 2 or 3 last night. There was a car in the lay-by, and there was people in the car talking, and I thought, now if they see me in the dark, they'll think I'm picking the daffodils. Instead of picking them up off the ground, I thought they might think I'm picking them because they'll see me stooping down and walk by with daffodils. So I only picked up 2 or 3 and went round the other way. So I didn't clean the whole of the green. I didn't want them thinking I was nicking them. What to do today? Bedspread. I'm edging, doing the edging of the border, which is fine. That'll be finished today. Well, not quite. I then need to back it. So then when I've got I'm sorted out the backing, yeah, I might get up there in a minute, find a piece, and then I can lay the bedspread. Well, I need to press the edge, and then lay this on, and then fold over the other bit of the edge and sew along. So that could be finished next few days. Don't know what I'm going to do with it, because there's no good me putting it on the bed, because as soon as the dogs jump on it, being still, it'll be ripped. So, bit of a useless project. Oh well, I'll. I mean, it's been being worked on for at least 50 odd years. It's more than 50 years. So it can go on for a few more years. It'll probably just be put away in the box, and when I die, the kids will find it in 20, 30 years' time and think, what the hell was this? And throw it. Never mind. It's given me something to do in lockdown. The vaccine's not doing very well, is it? And of course they're talking about it could be a third wave. My daughter's daughter-in-law, Antonella's hometown of Bergamo, they were on the news the other day. They're in a desperate situation again, and they say France is not very good either. And what did they say today? That they're saying to people, don't think about having holidays abroad this year. I was talking to the girl upstairs who's a pilot, and I said, have you got any work? And she said, no. She said, April and May. She said, April all my flights have been cancelled. She said, possibly by the end of May. She said, I might get some flights, but she said, there's not much hope at the moment. She's doing the odd sort of Edinburgh, Glasgow and freight, but she said all my flights for April have been cancelled. So she said, I've got no work, and she said, I don't know what will happen in May. She said there might be something at the end of May, so that's BA. So I thought, oh yeah. And of course, what does the cruise liners say? That they'll only be using 2 ships this year, and they'll only be round England. They won't be going abroad. So that's again a difficult situation. So yeah, I can see that we won't be doing much this year again. I don't even know whether my coach holiday to Durham will go ahead still. I mean, they're still saying, yeah, it's going to go ahead. I'm wondering at the light of what's been said at the moment with the government, whether or not that will get cancelled. Oh, we will see. I'm just hoping that the village halls sort of start to open soon, so that we can start doing bits and pieces in there. I want to use my new Pilates mat. That might happen when those village halls open, because you can limit the amount of people in them. It's things like the clubs, where there's lots of people, you can't limit those sort of things. I saw an old man this morning walking along, and he said, oh, any idea when the flower club's going to open again? And I said, well, no, not village hall. And I mean, we're talking about 100 people that come to that. We won't be able to put those sort of people in. And, try to limit to 30 people. That's going to be ridiculous. You can't do it. I mean, there's about 12 of us on the committee. So, that would be useless. You can't have a speaker in. You can't afford a speaker. So there's really no point unless, And then will people, if you can have lots of people in, will people want to come? Will they be happy with, mixing? We've all got to sort of try and get our second jabs. Us oldies, I suppose the 50-year-olds and over will manage to get their jabs. I know Chris was saying that he's just had his, but he doesn't get his second one till May, I think. And of course, my two girls, they're not going to get theirs. Well, they probably won't even get their first one till May or June, which is a real shame. It's so sad. But we have to stay safe. We might be having another difficult year like last year. Or at least springs and summers coming and we can all sort of get out in the garden and do things. Hopefully. I know the WI talking about mid-April having a table outside somebody's house with all the spare seedlings and little plants, which would be good. We can buy little plants off, It's, you'll be able to go to the garden centres, I suppose they... I don't even know whether they're still open. Yeah, I suppose they are. So be able to get some plants. I can go down when I walk the dogs in the morning, I can go that way because I know where the table's going to be outside somebody's house. So as soon as they say that they can start putting plants up there, I'll walk down every day and see what they've got. So that'll be an incentive to go out. I'll have to make sure I go out with a bag and a purse. Oh, sun's come out again. That'll be nice. I've just been sorting out. I've got bags of bags. We've all accumulated thousands of carrier bags. I thought, I've got to sort these out. They're spilling out the cupboard. So I've got 2 great big carrier bags full of carrier bags. I've put them in the garage so that when and if I ever go to the shops, I know my Tesco's, my big Tesco's, they've got one of these bins outside for your carrier bags. So I thought, right, when I get my car on the road, which won't be until the end of next week, it'll be a couple of weeks' time. If I go down to the shop, I can go and put them in, get rid of them there, because they say that they recycle them. So at least I'll be able to get rid of a few down there. I had a message from my son to say that they'll come down, he and Emma will come down next weekend on the Saturday, pop down and see me. Won't be able to go and eat anywhere, but they'll pop down and see me, and we might go for a walk along the front down at the beach. So hopefully it'll be a nice day, give us something to do. I haven't seen them since Christmas, so that's 3 months. So it'll be nice to see them. I'll see them on Zoom, don't I? So I had a little go with my laptop today, my new laptop. I managed to get, Rachel showed me how to get, she got the eBay on there for me last night, and I think Facebook, or was that already on there? So she showed me how to get into that. So I've managed to get into that today. And we've got a local thing called Nextdoor, and I can't access it on my iPad. So I managed to get into it on the new laptop. So I didn't download it, but I just opened it up. When I see Francesca next, I'll ask her to make it, one of my, put it on the top tab so I don't have to keep logging in. I can just click on it. So I'm making a list for what I want Francesca to show me what to do when I next see her on this new top. Get her to put in a few things for me, like my PayPal and all that on the tab, so I don't have to keep logging in and passwords. And now with PayPal and the bank, you have to log in with a password, and then you have to have a password off your phone as well. I don't want to have to keep doing that each time. So on the new laptop, hopefully she can sort that out for me. That would be good. And of course, I can't find how to delete my Gmails. Well, I wonder if she can sort out how I get my pictures on, get pictures into it. So that'll be interesting. I see there's lots of slots. I should be able to put in a stick, USB stick in there. But I don't want to do that on my own in case I don't know. It'll tell me what to do things, and I don't want to start pressing buttons and downloading stuff that I'm not supposed to be. Oh, that's something else I'll put on the list. I'll ask her how to do that, because I've got lots of pictures on a stick, haven't I? So yes, so that's interesting. Other than that, I'm jigsawing and I'm sewing and I'm doing a little bit of gardening. Not much else, and then it'll be walk the dogs. Well, I have got to walk round to my friend this afternoon to collect my bread. She's got bread coming for me this afternoon, so I'll walk round that way with the dogs this afternoon. And that's it. And then it's Saturday night again. So speak to you all soon, and I've got lots to tell you. So have a good day, everybody. Have a good Saturday. Speak to you soon. Bye.